Gillian, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Super excited. I got the matchup that I wanted. Got it back. Got it again since had a little bit of a fluke last time, and then so I'm excited to get back in there. Excited to get back in the cage.
Definitely. And of course, you're matched up with Miranda Maverick for UFC 260, but you were originally matched up for UFC 258. But unfortunately, you fell ill that day, the day of the fight. Can you talk a little bit about what happened, where that started from, and how it led to the fight being cancelled?
So I honestly, I had probably one of my best weight cuts. I probably cut, say, 3 or 4 pounds. Wasn't too hard. Went to bed feeling great that night after weigh-ins. Like, got refueled great and felt great. And then I woke up at 4 a.m. that morning, and I must have had either a stomach bug or food poisoning or something. Because until about 12, it was about 12:01, I was puking, and like me and my coach, we were even still trying to like move around. We were trying to be hopeful, still I it's the last thing that I wanted to do, and it's the first time I've ever had to pull out of a fight, so it was hard for me to do. But my coach made the decision for me, and I just let him make that decision. I feel like any fighter is gonna want to fight no matter what, but your coach has to make the smart decision sometimes.
Yeah, has it ever happened to you before where you've become ill like that before a fight?
No, that's the first time I've ever felt like that. First time I've ever pulled out of a fight. So, yeah, definitely a new experience and a heartbreaking one.
Yeah, I mean, because how does that feel? Obviously, you've done all the prep, you're gearing up for fight week, and then on the day that happens, I mean, how does that feel? How disappointing is that for you?
Uh, that was probably the hardest part about it. Is like it's like I want to fight. Like I said, any fighter they would want to go out there. They want to go out on their shield. So I and especially after a weight cut too, you put your body through so much. You put your body through so much through camp. So to go through all that again, it's definitely makes it more of a hassle. People are like, "Oh, she's scared. She pulled out of the fight." I'm like, "Why would I want to go through two weight cuts?"
Definitely. And so obviously you've had that extra time now. So how have you made use of that extra time? Obviously you've had longer to prepare for Miranda now.
Yeah, I've had about an extra month to prepare for her. I've got a lot of work with just girls from everywhere, really. I was in Orlando last week and in St. Louis all last week, and I've worked with Hannah Goldie, Lauren Murphy, um, Autumn Norton, Brittany Cloudy, Kelly D'Angelo. They're all girls who are in the UFC or in Invicta currently right now. So it's like those are some of the biggest promotions for women, and these are some of the best girls in the world. So they're just helping me get ready, and I'm super thankful for all their help.
Yeah. And what do you think of Miranda as an opponent? What do you think about how your styles are going to match up?
She honestly reminds me of like a younger version of myself. I feel like where uh, I feel like she's a good wrestler, good grappler, but she's not really. Uh, I'm just more experienced at this moment. I feel like, and I'm gonna go in there more prepared and capitalize.
Yeah, because obviously she's coming off of her UFC debut, which was a first round finish back in October, I think it was. What did you think about her performance?
Uh, I I guess it was a good performance. She got that elbow off. She was able. There wasn't really much that happened other than that. I don't think the fight should have been stopped. Really, that girl like it was. I pretty much had the same thing my last fight, and I fought all 3 rounds. So, um, yeah, it was a weird stoppage, but I guess it was impressive elbow that she landed.
And talk about your last fight then. Obviously, things didn't go your way against Talia Santos. What's your takeaway from that fight? And talk a little bit. Obviously, you mentioned as well about the cut.
Well, the cut was definitely that's another first time thing for me. So that's a new experience in the cage. I've never had stitches in my life. Then I got 9 stitches my last fight. So it's just like it's a new experience having to fight with blood going in your eyes, having to fight like I remember once I got on top for like a second and I just couldn't see anything at all. Like looking at the lights, that was all I could see, just a little bit of a glimmer. But it's just it's a new experience, a new thing to deal with mentally that now I'll be prepared for in the future. So there's always something to take away from everything.
Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't long after, and you got back in there in a grappling bout with Pearl Gonzalez. Why so soon, and why did you want to take that?
Honestly, it was Submission Underground, this Chael Sonnen show. They just messaged me. I competed for them before, and they're like, "Hey, pro's looking for an opponent, short notice. Would you be okay with that?" And so I messaged the UFC doctor, and I was like, how long should I wait? Like, how long do I need to take out the stitches? And he was like, "Oh, wait, 10 days to take out the stitches and about 21 days to grapple." And that competition was about 11 days after the fight, and I was just like, it'll be good enough. So I went out and I did it, and then probably like the first 30 seconds of the fight, my nose split open again, and it was just I should have listened to the doctor probably.
So in terms of going in there, obviously at UFC 260 against Miranda Maverick, I know obviously you're probably keen to get back into the win column. How do you see the fight playing out?
I see it just being my fight. I'm gonna push the pace, just to establish my presence in the ring, and then obviously take the fight where I want it. Going in there to finish, and everybody knows I love my rear naked choke, so that's where I'm headed.
Yeah, and last time we saw Molly McCann in your corner. How did that come about? Obviously, I know you fought in the past, but how did that come about, her being in your corner for your last fight?
So Molly fought the week before I was supposed to fight Miranda. So she just messaged me, and like we've messaged each other a couple times through the last couple of years. And she messaged me. She's like, "I'll stay out here another week if you need another person out here." And my coach was like, "Yeah, all for it. It's an awesome opportunity to have somebody and have different bodies, have different looks." And Molly's probably one of the most genuine people I know. She's just great to be around, good vibes. She's hilarious. So it was just it was an honor to have her there that week. And she's actually going to come and try to come to Florida to train with us hopefully soon.
Nice, nice. And something that kind of stood out to me as well, with your last fight, was the run up to your fight, and obviously your coach Dean Thomas took you to see Shaquille O'Neal at his house and introduce you. What was that experience like? And getting some of those, he gave you some, great words of encouragement. What was that like for you?
Oh, it's like he's one of the best just hustlers in life in general. He's always in, whether it was in basketball, and you see him on commercials all the time, just constantly working, working, working. And it's like that's the attitude that I want to have and I aspire to have, is just constantly perfecting my craft. And when I've done that, just keep on looking for more, just constantly bettering myself. So he's a huge inspiration and a huge person in general. I don't think I've ever seen anybody larger.
Definitely, and I think you tried to show him some of your submission skills as well. That was quite funny.
Oh yeah, definitely a unique experience. My mom thought that was so cool.
And talk about Dean Thomas. Obviously, he's your coach, and he's meant a lot for you in your career. What's it like having someone like that behind you 100%?
Oh, it means the world to me. I've worked with Dean since I was 16 years old. I'm coming up on 26, so we're going on 10 years now. And it's just, I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. He's 100% the reason why I am here. He's put so much time and effort into me to just build me as a fighter. And especially this last year where we've kind of broken off from American Top Team and we have our own little thing we got going on. It's just me, him, Jose Shorty Torres, and David Evans. Then we just travel everywhere. We just get work where we can and drill with each other every single day. And I feel like this last year I've really seen the most improvement in myself as a fighter, and I'm super thankful for him for that.
Yeah, and this is obviously going to be your first fight of the year. What are your goals or aspirations for 2021?
So far with my UFC career, I've had 9 fights and I've gone 2 wins and a loss every single time. So I want to get at least 3 wins in a row. That's the goal.
Definitely. And obviously you surpassed Ronda Rousey's record of most submission wins in women's history. What's it like to have that kind of accomplishment attached to your name?
Oh, it's like Ronda Rousey was literally the pioneer for women in the UFC. She's the reason why we are in the UFC. And when I was an amateur, I remember watching her fights, and it's like it's absolutely mind blowing to me that I'm here. Even to the fact that I get to fight for the UFC is still. I fought for them for 3 years now, and I don't think the fact has like caught up to me yet. It's just it's an incredible life, and I love it.
And I suppose you're going to look to improve on that record on Saturday?
Oh, of course. I'm trying to get in and out of there as quick as possible, take as little damage as possible, and hopefully come home with that 50K.
Yeah, definitely. And if you look at the flyweight division at the moment, obviously you've got the champion Valentina Shevchenko taking on Jessica Andrade next. What do you think about that fight, and how do you think that plays out?
I definitely think that's an interesting matchup, and obviously Andrade has a lot of power, but you see her get picked apart by a lot of technical strikers. Like Rose was doing it both fights really before she got TKO'd in the first one, but she was still picking her apart on the feet. Joanna picked her apart, and I feel like Valentina's going to do the same.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you back in the octagon again for UFC 260. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
And thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.